Hello, it's Phil Thatch. Thanks for joining me today as I talk to you about what could possibly be my very favorite lens. This is the 24-70 f2.8G. This is an F-mount lens and it is fantastic. It's out of production, but it doesn't matter. It's still great. It's still a great lens even in 2020 and beyond. This lens is designed for F-mount Nikon DSLRs, and it's 24 on the wide end, which is plenty wide. I mean, I do have the ultra wide lens, but I use this lens way more. And I do have the mild telephoto, the 70-200. I have the full Holy Trinity. This is the 14-24 2.8, and this is the 70-200 2.8. But of those three, the Holy Trinity of 2.8 zooms, the one that gets used the most, it's not the exotic one. Those two are kind of more exotic than this one. But the 24-70 is right there in the middle, and this focal length is really more useful than those two in most situations. This lens can be used for landscape photography. It can be used for sports. It's a great portrait lens. You'll see these. You'll see wedding photographers using this focal length and this speed, the f2.8, very regularly. It's just a great all-around lens, and you have to have this focal length. If you're going to have a zoom lens, you want one that covers this range in your bag for sure. And I bought this lens in, where my notes go, here they are. I bought this lens in 2014. This lens was made from 2007 until 2015, and I bought mine in 2014 for $1,887, which sounds like a lot of money, but here it is 6 years later, and I'm still crazy about this lens, and it still works great. They replaced this lens in 2015 with another 24-70 f2.8 lens, and that version has vibration reduction, which this lens does not. So there's that. And that lens you can still buy new. Actually, you can still buy this lens new. I'll talk to you about that in a minute. But I paid $1,887. Now you can get this lens still new, even though they haven't made them, I don't believe, since 2015. You can still buy new ones for $1,447. The vibration reduction version is $1,897. And if you get the Z mount, the Nikon has released a Z mount, because this video is really about how does this older lens work in today's mirrorless world, and I think it's pretty good. But they also have a Z mount version of this, the 24-70 f2.8 S-line Z mount lens, and it's $2297. So even new, this one was a lot less expensive than that one. But here's the thing: this lens is great. It works great with the Nikon FTZ adapter on my Z6. It'll work great on your Z5. It'll work great on your Z7. And if you're on a budget, if you don't have all the money in the world to spend, there's nothing wrong with this older lens. It works great with that FTZ. And you can buy them used. I found them at places like Adorama, B&H, and KEH used, anywhere from $8.59 to $9.99. The $9.99 one was at B&H, and it's in condition 9, which is basically new. So that's a bargain. That's less than half. If you use one of these, it's less than half of the Z mount. And if you really eventually want to get the Z mount 24-70 f2.8, no problem at all. You can buy this lens used, keep it for a year or two, save up the other $1,000, sell this, probably get every penny of your money back when you do sell it, and then buy the Z mount lens. But I have no intention of doing that. This lens is working perfectly fine for me. I'm probably never going to buy that Z mount 24-70 f2.8, just because, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, So, great lens. Let's talk a little bit about it. It comes in this, I still have my box, and it's so cool. The box has the serial number on it. Mine's in the 900,000s, and I think they went all the way to 1.2, but they made just under 1 million of these, and so mine's one of the later ones. So there's the box. And in the box, it comes with this fantastic pouch. You know, a lot of times the storage that lenses come in, it's something that you'll never ever use. This is a very useful pouch. It's got a strap, and it's padded, and it has styrofoam in the bottom of it too. Velcro's open, and then it's double sealed. There's a double zipper, and this flips down. You put the lens in there and zip those two zippers up and flip this over the top, so it's, you know, your lens is not going to get wet in this. And you know, sometimes you can carry this bag over your shoulder and have one lens on your camera and this lens in the bag and just swap them back and forth. So very useful pouch, not something that's just going to never be used. I've actually used it many, many times. Check out this lens hood. Fantastic. Super durable. I've done a lot of, and one of the main things I bought this lens for is live music photography. And sometimes if you're in a bar, you know, listening to a rock band play, it's kind of a rough environment. People are drinking and bumping you and all this kind of stuff. Well, this lens hood is really, really solid. It's plastic, but it's really thick plastic, and it sticks out a long way. So it has protected my lens in situations where, you know, you get banged around. This will really protect you. And it's easy to take on and off. It's got a button here, and you just press that button and go counterclockwise, and it comes right off. Really easy to put on. You know, you just set it down there and start turning it, and it'll find the place and lock right in. It works fantastically. I'm going to take that off for a little bit. You can see how much I've used this lens. My lens cap, where it says Nikon, the color, you know, it's I think it was either white or silver when it was new, and now it's virtually gone, because when I take the lens cap off, I throw it in my pocket so I don't lose it, do my shooting, and when I'm done, I pop this fantastic lens cap back on. It's a 77 millimeter filter thread, which to me is like the professional filter thread. My 70 to 200 uses that same size, and all my filters are that size. And now that I've gotten to using some smaller cameras like the Z50 that's recording this now, and my XT3, I have to have step-up adapters to use the larger pro size, in my opinion, 77 millimeter. I mean, you may have a different opinion of what the official pro size filter is, but to me, it is and has always been 77 millimeters. So let's take a look. It's interesting the way it zooms. This at 50 millimeters, it's the smallest size that it goes. If you go towards 24, the lens gets longer. Come back to 50, it gets smaller, and then as you turn towards 70, it gets a little bit bigger. So the lens is like a piston when you go through the zoom range, but when you store it at 50 millimeters, so it's the smallest size. It's all metal except for the glass parts, and then there's two rubber rings. The zoom ring is a rubber ring that goes around the zoom ring, and no, excuse me, that's the focus ring, I apologize. And there's a rubber ring that goes around the zoom ring as well. And I used mine so much that I wore out the original rubber ring, and it's super cheap. I ordered it straight from Nikon, and they shipped it to me. It's like, I can't remember, $3, $5, something like that. And you just take the old one off and slide the new one on. There's no glue or anything. It just slips on like a big, great tactile feeling rubber band. So it works really well. On the lens, there's only one switch, manual focus, and then manual or automatic focus with the manual override. So if you're focusing auto and you grab the focus ring, it'll automatically override autofocus and you'll go into manual focus, which is nice. So you don't have to stop. If you want to go manual, you don't have to stop, flip a switch, and then start focusing. It just goes. Great lens. Great lens. I recommend you get one, especially, you know, now, because they're so inexpensive and it works so well with the FTZ adapter. They made about 900,000 of these. I think I may have mentioned they made almost 1 million of these, so they're out there. You know, the VR version that replaced this, the F-mount VR version, there's only like 150,000 of those, so they're much less common. And some people say, I've never used the VR version because I didn't replace this with that either because I was so satisfied with this. But I've heard people say that optically this lens is better than the VR version that replaced it. So that's something to think about. I can't attest to that. That's just what I've heard. But I've always been completely satisfied with the way this lens works, the way it focuses. It's super fast autofocus, really, really fast. It doesn't miss. It's just great, and it doesn't miss on the FTZ adapter on your Z series camera too. And if you want to keep your DSLRs for years and years, I mean, they just came out here in 2020. They just came out with the D780, which is excuse me, it's an SLR. This will work great with it. You know, that new Z mount that you might be lusting after won't work with a camera like that, but this will. This will work with both. The Z mount only works with the Z mount. So, you know, in 2020 and beyond, I think this lens still has value, and I think it will have value for years to come. So if you're considering getting one, my vote is do it. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. It's Phil Thatch, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye-bye.